He's the loving single father of 2 young boys.
He lived for those boys.
A highly valued employee.
Always did what he was told, just gave it 100%.
A guy without an enemy in the world.
We haven't found anybody that he had any problems with.
No one.
No one.
So who in the world would want to get rid of John Terry?
It's so hard because I keep thinking about the boys. They're so lost and they don't understand.
Today, he's a man at the center of a baffling mystery.
Basically, his last hours alive could have been buying pet food at Walmart.
Yes.
And April Stoll is the intrepid investigator who spends every day sifting through the evidence to find just who or what is behind his disappearance.
I took the case file and started at page 1.
Is it murder?
The blood spatter was located here.
Or could it be that John Terry made himself disappear? It starts as a typical beginning of the weekend for John Terry in Hillsboro, Texas. He leaves work on Friday and does some routine shopping. You can even watch along on a store surveillance tape at Walmart during what may be his last hours alive.
We see him pull into Walmart. He goes in, he buys a bag of dog food, a bag of cat food.
This is the last time that John is seen publicly, right? Is this after Walmart, you just lose track of him?
This is the last time that he is seen alive.
And from that point until this day, everything about John Terry is shrouded in mystery. The next day, his abandoned Jeep is reported to police by a road crew working a pipeline on a remote dirt road about 20 miles from his house.
Well, I think it's significant that the keys were still in the ignition, the windows are rolled down, his cigarettes were in the passenger seat, the cell phone was in the back seat, the cat and dog food was in the back seat.
What about his wallet?
No, there was no wallet in the vehicle.
And for investigator Stoll, the car itself is a hotbed of unanswered riddles.
There was also loose paperwork in the cup holder area. Just the way that it was positioned, it looked like it had been shuffled around almost intentionally.
Like what, the crime scene was staged?
Yes, things moved around to give a deceptive appearance.
And that's not all cops are thinking.
Do you think John drove his car to that road?
No.
So if John Terry didn't drive his car to where it was found, who did and why? Police say you have to go back to the remote cabin where John was living. That's where they believe he went after leaving the Walmart straight home. What they don't know is if he ever made it past his own front door.
The exterior of the door, they did locate some small areas of blood spatter, and those were collected. Other than that, there was nothing that appeared out of the ordinary.
And where was the blood spatter?
Right here where the letters are, we have A and D up here, and B and C down below. Once it was collected using the swabs, it absorbed all of the sample.
You're waiting for the DNA results. If it comes back that it was in fact John Terry's blood, what does that mean?
That's pretty indicative of something violent happening out at his house.
Something violent, like murder? With the killer possibly driving off in John's car and leaving it on that dirt road 20 miles away.
If you're gonna hurt somebody, you have many areas out here where you could hide the body and then take the vehicle and as a diversion, take it somewhere else far away and make it look like he never made it home that night.
A search of the area yields no body, and investigators begin retracing John Terry's last few days. They learn that his 2 young children are with their mother, John's ex-wife Rachel, for the weekend.
It was Mom's weekend with the boys. She picked up the boys from school.
Police say Rachel and her live-in significant other, Stephen Oberly, last saw John earlier on the same day he disappeared. They stopped by his job to pick up overnight bags for the kids.
Stephen was in the car, he never got out of the car. It was noted that Stephen and John may have waved at each other, but they never had any kind of face-to-face exchange.
Rachel was interviewed by police shortly after John Terry went missing, but investigator Stoll says she has a few more questions. In fact, there's a long list of people investigators would like to question. One of them, a person John reportedly had an appointment with to buy a new bed.
John had made a Facebook post the evening before he disappeared, and he said, "I'm getting my new bed tomorrow. I'm tired of sleeping on this cattle guard." But nobody can tell us where he was getting the bed from.
Investigator Stoll says something about it doesn't feel right.
It doesn't add up when you talk about motive.
Yeah, who kills somebody over a bed, right? Unless it was a straight up robbery.
So if you have free reign and access and your motive is robbery, and you're in a secluded area, why don't you take everything you can?
But for a guy who didn't seem to have any enemies, there are certainly a lot of different theories about who wanted him to disappear. Friends and family say John Terry had recently ended a relationship with a girlfriend.
Anyone that would raise a red flag, someone who just turned out to be just bat crazy.
One girl that he had went to school with, that he had known for a better portion of his life. Don't know if you'd call her bat crazy or not, but I believe they just tried to mingle and it didn't work.
And then there's this, the most incredible possibility of all, a picture submitted on a missing persons information website of a man taken near Tijuana, Mexico, not long after John vanished. He's a dead ringer for John, and the frightening description that comes with it sure seems to fit. He needs to go back to America. He needs help. He is going to end up dead on the street. I asked him his name. He replied his name was John.
There were several people who had seen that photograph and started commenting about it.
Next, new investigators are anxious to talk to John Terry's ex-wife, Rachel. But Crime Watch Daily gets to her first.
Since this will probably come up when you talk to them, I don't feel bad asking you.
Okay.
And we get right to the point.
I just want to ask you flat out, you, Rachel, had nothing to do with John Terry's disappearance.